Rhinos are one of the most critically endangered species on Earth. At the turn of the 20th century, over 500,000 of these magnificent creatures could be found roaming across Africa and Asia. But today, due to poaching and habitat loss, their population has been decimated. The illegal trade of rhino horn has caused immense suffering for these animals, as well as for the communities and countries trying to protect them. Rhino horn is believed by some to have medicinal properties, despite no scientific evidence to support these claims. This misconception has driven the value of rhino horn on the black market higher than gold, making it a lucrative business for poachers and criminal syndicates. Today, there are only 5 species of Asian and African rhinos that represent around 26,267 rhinos left in the wild. In this video, we'll a closer look at each of these species and where they can be found. First up, we have the white rhino. Contrary to its name, the white rhino is not actually white. Its skin is gray in color. There are many different theories as to where the term white came from, but the most common one is that it is derived from the Afrikaans word for wide, describing the white rhino's wide mouth and upper lips, which are perfectly adapted to graze on grass, which is the white rhino's primary diet. Unfortunately, the white rhino is critically endangered due to poaching for their horns, which are highly sought after in traditional medicine and as a status symbol. However, conservation efforts have been successful in stabilizing their populations in certain areas, such as Kenya's Lake Nakuru National Park. Next, we have the black rhino. In the same way that the white rhino is not white, the black rhino is not actually black. Its skin is more of a gray color. There are a number of theories as to why the black rhino is called black, but 2 of the most common are that their prehensile upper lip has a type of beak formation which has been translated to black, and perhaps the more common theory is that the English called it black as it was opposite to white rhino. These rhinos have pointed, prehensile upper lips that allow them to browse on trees and shrubs, and like the white rhino, they are also threatened by poaching for their horns. Due to the black rhino's more solitary nature, conservation efforts for this species are more challenging. However, initiatives such as habitat protection and anti-poaching measures have helped to stabilize populations in some areas. Moving on to Asia, we have the Javan rhino. With only around 72 individuals left in the wild, the Javan rhino is one of the rarest large mammals on Earth. These rhinos spend most of their time wallowing in water holes and taking mud baths. They have a well-adopted long upper lip that is very distinctive, allowing them to browse on trees, twigs, and leaves, although they also graze on open grassland too. Their remaining population can be spotted on Java Island in Indonesia, which represents the only hope for their survival as they are on the brink of extinction. Another species found in Asia is the greater one-horned rhino. Like their African cousin, the white rhino, the greater one-horned rhino has enjoyed a boost to their population in recent years. It is estimated that as few as 200 individuals existed in the wild in the early 1900s. Thanks to a concerted conservation effort, their current population is thought to be around 3,588. They are grazers and can often be found in grasslands and wetlands. They spend up to 60% of the day wallowing in water and are quite accustomed to feeding underwater. Lastly, we have the Sumatran Rhino. Their population is said to have declined by about 50% since the late 1990s. Their decline, like all other species of rhino, is due to poaching for their horn, but the Sumatran rhino is also suffering due to loss of habitat. Their natural habitat is being destroyed and developed for palm oil plantations. Unfortunately for the Sumatran rhino, their habitat is very close to China, one of the main destinations, along with Vietnam, for creating a demand for rhino horn. The Sumatran rhino is a browser, and some of their favorite food is leaves, plant tips, twigs, and fruits. The Sumatran is the smallest and hairiest of all the surviving rhinos. It is said to be the closest living relative to the now extinct woolly rhino. And there you have it, the 5 species of rhino. While these magnificent animals face many threats, including habitat loss and poaching, there are efforts being made to protect them and ensure their survival for generations to come.